Welcome, beautiful souls, to light language number 23, activation. Today, we explore that electric moment when energy awakens, when your inner codes remember their song. Together with JJ and Karen, we'll weave sound, science, and spirit to spark our own awakening. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and let curiosity lead the way, because your activation begins now. I am thrilled to be joined by JJ and Karen. Here. Starseed Awakening, 1111, and Tuta Speaks. I'm proud, and I'm just pleased that you all are here. You keep coming back.
We do.
We do.
You keep coming back. I am Tarot Stash. Thank you for being here. Links to all of our channels are below, as is the link to the Light Language playlist, which is also available as a podcast. So if you need to listen on the go, you can do that. Karen, how are you? Before we dive deep and say hello to everybody.
I am really good. Really, really doing well.
Beautiful.
How are you guys?
JJ, how are you?
I am excited. The weather's cooler. It's nice because you can go outside and it just smells crisp. And fall is my favorite season. So I'm enjoying outside. This is my outside season.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm doing very well myself. Lots of things have been going on, which is quite good. I am very happy about it. I have to remind everybody, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. That being said, all three of us do offer private readings.
Mm-hmm.
Contact information is below. You know what? Lots of stuff going on in the world. Lots of stuff going on for individuals. I'm glad to be sharing part of this with you all. This topic of activation is because one of the best chatters asked for it. I don't remember who said it, but I'm like going, oh yeah, here we go. Here we go.
I'm always amazed that, when I think back of how this started, and it was like, well, let's just do one. And then.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And then he tried to get rid of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Or do you have like a mouse in your pocket or something like that? I am grateful. This is 23. We've been doing this for 23 times. Yeah. I'm grateful for that. I want to say hello to everyone. Teresa has joined us, Hypnicity, Richie's Reach, Kaylee, Fogo Pogo.
Yay.
Barbara is here.
Woo.
Moderators, please watch this one, Starseed Awakening 1111. Who, by the way, I have a feeling, because I don't know about the two of you, I'm already jacked in. So Starseed Awakening, we're talking about activation. There may be some great activation. Tiffany is here. Karen's hair matches the background. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed up all night talking to each other on the phone and texting to figure out what color we were going to coordinate. River is here. Pamela Batchelor has joined us. Diana. Jax is here. And yes. Hi to all the best chatters here and in the future. Annie Bear is here. Hello, Annie Bear. And Rossi is here. Hi, Rossi. Yeah. Oh. Pamela is not ready for Gerald in Argyle. It's too late. Gerald has shown up in Argyle.
Mm-hmm.
JJ is already taking notes, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm loving this. We are going up. Timmy Raven is here, or excuse me, Raven Terra Protection. KK. Kaylee just noticed your earrings, JJ.
They glow in the dark.
Love it. Swampy has joined us. Annie says, I'm reading Dan.
Ooh.
Rose's new book, all about secrets. Ooh, I love that. Elizabeth has joined us. Hello. So I'm grateful for everybody to be here. And by the way, if this needs to be more than one show, it's going to be more than one show.
Yeah.
There, just saying it, because I've,
And as always, the involvement of the people that are here right now. You can either, if you feel comfortable, share things about maybe your activations.
Yeah.
And then people who watch this on the replay, there's a space to, on any of our channels, to comment there as well. If it's something like super secret, private, you could always email us.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I have put together a list of questions just to organize our approach. Expect us to go off of that because it's us.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say hello to Amber, who is listening to this while she gets ready for work in the morning. Hi, Amber.
Don't forget your bra.
Oh, if you don't want to, anyhow.
Yeah.
Yes. So the first thing I do want to remind everyone is throughout the process of activation, please remember to ground through breath, hydration, or contact with nature. It is a generally known fact. It is a great way to integrate energy shifts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything the two of you would like to add to this very cautious reminder? It's like, people, drink fluids. You have to do it.
I say lean on somebody too. Don't keep it in to yourself
Oh,
if you're
yes.
not feeling great. I mean, this is this is where the veil is the thinnest, they say. And so you might be extra sensitive. So reach out to your community, the online chatters here, and hopefully you have somebody near you as well. Just reach out. You don't have to do this alone.
I would also like to add that, you said, the minute you said veil, JJ, like a veil came down, and it was like trying to, really kind of get my grounding on spirituality and then human world and then bouncing between that. And I would say that if you're finding that kind of, they give me this dizzy feeling in my head, whether did this happen, did this not happen, whatever you sense, it's like before you go out, be very cognizant about who you are, what you're feeling. And because you may be hypersensitive in this time to where you're feeling and seeing different things, so it's really important for you to be grounded in who you are. So
that's actually really smart, Karen, because the one time when I wasn't like fully in my body, and I don't even know if it was spiritual stuff. It was probably me being a young mom and I'm not sleeping. And I was leaving a store, and I got into a fender bender because I didn't look over my shoulder. So that brought me back very quickly. So we say this with the whole thing today, with ease and grace.
With ease and grace.
With ease and grace.
Yeah.
Kaylee is JJ made Kaylee have a light language activation.
Yeah.
No, JJ was present while you had a light language activation.
Yes.
And light language responsibly.
Yes.
I love that. Heather has joined us. Eva has joined us. And KK, Spiritual Intuitive, is sitting down in my hay barn with my barn kitty laying on my lap. He's my little big shield. Aww. So, um, one of the things that I wanted to mention, activation from a spiritual sense has a similar meaning to a non-spiritual analogy. I want to bring those up. In physics and chemistry, activation energy is the minimum input required for a reaction to begin. It parallels intention and openness, supplying the spark that starts inner transformation. Also, in biology, enzymes and cells become activated when their structure shifts and they perform a new function.
Mm-hmm.
This mirrors human consciousness reorganizing, enabling new awareness or capacity. Technology. A system or account becomes active after confirmation or connection to a network. I like to think of this as when you walk into a room and you want light to go on, you flip the switch.
Mm-hmm.
That's an activation. This parallels the individual aligning with the higher frequency or soul network. There you go. Things that you didn't know, or
That's
you knew, but you
beautiful.
didn't
Yeah.
realize. Thank you. Thank you. So thinking about this, I love the idea of activation because it represents that moment when potential becomes movement. That's a really good thing. Let's talk about the moment of activation and what does it mean to switch on? Who would like to start, JJ?
um, so as we were talking about before we came on to the live stream, that this is different for everybody, so we can share what we've experienced, and maybe what we've seen others experience, but it is different for everybody. So when I was thinking about this question before we came on, my people were like quiet, which means either I don't have the answer, they're not going to give me the answer, or I have to look at it a different way. And so I looked at it a different way, and they just kind of reminded me the things that I went through, and it's like a birthing, like an activation is a birthing. And sometimes you do that on your own. Sometimes you might be in the presence of somebody, like with my light language, my husband and an energy worker named Adele in Sedona. They were working on me, and that's when my language came through. So I almost feel like there's these activation doulas, and
Oh, I like that.
yeah. And so, yeah, just to reiterate, it's different for everybody. We'd like to hear how you guys have experienced any of them. Yeah. I do want to share, I was taking notes because when, in the beginning of this, right underneath my rib cage felt really weird. And, it felt as if somebody cut me open right there, and it's like spilled guts feeling. It feels like somebody like just opened me, like it's like just spilling your guts, which like spilling your guts is like telling it all.
Mm-hmm.
But it also felt like a weakness in my back too, where it's just like there are these points in my body that just felt weak as like I was being cut open. So I'm not sure, that's not really for our conversation, but I just have to say it to put it out there. If anybody feels like they're being gutted, share.
So for me, I usually don't take notes, but somebody said something about cells. And what I heard was, so letting things go. Your muscles hold on to muscles and cells hold on to a lot of things. So
Yeah.
I find it very odd that what caught me was letting things go and getting rid of things. And I was trying to find the word because I don't want to say past traumas, but it really does seem like to cut open, let things go, get rid of that cell stuff. So I was like, when you said cut me open, I'm like, okay, now this makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So we are in a stage, and they show me an onion. I always find it funny when someone's like, what do I have to let go? I've already let go of all my stuff. No, that's what you let go of that you know of, and then we're a work in progress. And the more, they just show me an onion, kind of peeling those layers back, and that onion turns into a flower. Mm-hmm. So, maybe that is something that we'll do some language on. Who knows?
Yay.
So.
Yeah. I think it is an interesting thing to realize it can feel this way in activation. It doesn't feel that way often to people. When it does, pay attention to it and keep yourself grounded and centered. Notice what's going on with that.
I forgot the questions. You know how I am. So, switched on. Are we going to talk about feelings in that, or is that coming up?
Yeah, we talk about like the physical and the outside of us.
Okay.
Yeah. We could talk about it right now if you want, Karen.
Yeah, I actually, because, it can be very, very different. I mean, I've been switched on to where I literally feel a tingle at the top of my head, and it's so intense. I have also, because I am so hard-headed, spirit, hold back there, guys. So spirit really sometimes knocks me down to pay attention. Mm-hmm. So it can be, and sometimes I don't even notice. And then, for instance, when I started seeing spirit, I wasn't doing anything. I was driving, and my brother's face appeared at the rearview mirror. I was at a bookstore, and I was telling these guys behind the scene, where I saw a full-on spirit, and she was like, tell my son this, tell my son this. And this is when I very first stepped into my spirituality, and I'm not saying anything to this guy. He's gonna think I'm fucking crazy. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Mm-hmm. So I didn't, because I was so not, I didn't believe I was given this gift. And that came with no forewarning, no anything. Now, like I said before, I do regret not telling that gentleman what his mom wanted me to pass along. And so now I pay attention to it, regardless of whether in that moment I feel like I'm going crazy. I go back to, wait a second, I am okay. My body feels okay. And I process it through that and say, okay, thank you for this gift. Thank you for this insight. Give me more. I really try hard to say, give me more, because I've noticed that when things do scare me, it for me personally, I kind of shut it down. So I try not to be scared about it. And I do reach out. Like I said before, I reached out with JJ about the language. It really made me feel crazy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yes.
How about you guys? How did you feel?
I think I've felt it all. I felt like I've felt the tingling on the head where you're just like this. I'm not sure if this was part of it, but the ringing of the ears gets intense. I get extra sensitive, and sometimes I'll find myself, like in the beginning, like down on my knees in the bathroom, like, because it's cool there and I don't know if I'm going to throw up. And it's like, that's when it helps to have other people, like our spirit friends, to be like, dude, can you feel that energy? And they'll be like, yeah, I'm in bed with the covers over my head. And, and then one person will be like, no, but I'll hold space for you. And yeah, I felt not like nauseous and buzzing, and sometimes I get like so filled up with energy I feel like I'm gonna explode, and so then I have to like do a little trick, if I can remember it, is to like have a little spigot on the back of my neck, and I'm like I have to
Well,
crack
that's
open the
interesting.
spigot to let some of it out, or like a little steam thing right here, like like a rice cooker or Instapot.
Hmm.
How
I
about
think
you?
the signs of activation. For me, one of the things, and I still hear it. I always hear sound. I always have this particular tone that is going on. It is an inner hearing. It's not a physical hearing. I know that. I don't know about you all, but I've walked around the house trying to find out where that sound, originates. Uh, uh, and part of the other thing about the activation for me is there was so I'm a bit odd. Part of it was suddenly things seemed to line up and energy flowed faster.
Mhm.
It was like the drain had been unclogged, and suddenly it's like, oh, okay, it's there's a comfort with it and a speed that's associated with it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, it's like being on cruise control instead of
Mm-hmm.
having to always be paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of those things of I didn't know that what it was. I just suddenly noticed some of my skill set was clearer. I trusted it more. I was on the same side of it with it instead of going against it.
That makes it a lot easier.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have always been a person who is able to suspend disbelief. It's like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is where we are. This just really elevated it. Suddenly, I remember doing some readings for a friend, for friends, and I was done, and people were staring at me, and they're like, going, "How you doing?" I'm like, going, "Fine. What's going on?" Apparently, I had gotten out of the way for about 2 hours of just sharing information. I'd not had that happen before.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, oh, okay,
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
yeah. What about people who are watching? What are some of your inner sensations or experience that tell you you had a moment of activation? I think it's also important. If I start to sound lectury, I apologize. JJ, Karen, make me stop. There are moments when these things happen. uh, Welcome them in. You don't have to use them right now. Welcome them in and consider them an opportunity, something that is available to you at a later time as necessary. We have to exist in this 3D world, which can be very tedious.
Mm-hmm.
We are in control often. Part of that control is saying, nope, not right now, or yep, now, or slow it down for me. I can't drink out of a fire hose.
Yeah.
I need a slight drinking fountain. So, um, more people have come in, by the way. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Um, I want to, they had me doing this because sometimes I feel tingling in my third eye area and in my face.
Hmm.
And I also want to say, because Pamela just made a comment, I can't recall any of those moments happening to me. And that's the thing that I would really like to get on my soapbox about, because it doesn't have to look like this. Ooh, I like that. I love it. It does not have to look like this. When I was younger, I come from a long line of, people. All the women in my family are very, very psychic. And I looked at my aunt as a role model. And she one time told me, because I would tell her that I would get this feeling like a bubble had just come in. And she proceeded to criticize me and tell me that that is evil trying to get in and blah, blah, blah. And so she really put a damper on, I feel like she really put a damper, because she put me down, and then I started believing that. And instead of looking at it, and I right now they're giving me some words that Debbie had said. If you know Debbie, great. If you don't, sorry. From Free Bird Spirit. One time she said, if the voices that you're hearing are sweet and kind and loving, then you know that that's for your benefit. But if the voices are, or feelings, voices, whatever you want to call it, are nasty and rude and are putting you down, then that's not how they would sound. But yeah, so it doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to feel like we feel. Every feeling is okay to have. And yeah, so there you go. I'm getting off soapbox.
Well, you bring up an important point. Everybody has different experiences.
Yeah.
My experience is having a sense of knowing and free flow.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk about it, it's like that's sort of what happened to me. It's not, anyhow, I'm not discounting. I don't want to lessen my experience, and I don't want anybody to feel their experience is lessened if they don't recall them. It doesn't mean you're not having them.
Yeah.
You can be activated without having these sensations.
Mm-hmm.
So
sometimes, and just so you know, Pam, sometimes it's like I have this, I realize, I call it leveling up. That's a word that they've given me, is they always show me a ladder. Sometimes they show me, I'm on this rung and I've stepped up and it was like, holy crap, how did that happen? Sometimes there's nothing. It's just something new happens or something I wasn't able to do. And that's okay too.
Yeah, it really is. I think there's the beauty in that, because we're all individuals.
Mm-hmm.
The way we access light language, and if we know we access it, how we access it is very different. JJ, you look like you're wanting to say something.
I know my husband knows like my signs of being like, I make it very obvious. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, something's happening. And sometimes I just need to be near water. Like I need to do like an Epsom salt bath and just listen to music, like straight into my, like with the ear, like headphones or something. Just to like step out of it. Sometimes it's just it moves so fast. So there are things that I've learned, like when I get all ramped up, whether that's an activation or I'm just stepping into like this, when you're swimming, sometimes it's cool and sometimes it's warm. It's like I've just, this energetic, flow is just a little bit different for whatever reason. And so I definitely, for me, it's water. And then the unhealthy things that I reach for is red meat and wine. Those seem to like knock me down.
I'm kidding. Like, oh,
I think there's a great deal of power in recognizing what supports you,
mm-hmm.
what does not.
Yeah.
I also would say, if you're starting to get a craving for the things that don't support you,
Mm-hmm.
you have choice. You can have those things, or you can do something different.
Yeah.
One is not better than the other. You just know what you're going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
So, Kaylee said, I've heard people talking light language in their sleep. So unless you have someone who sleeps with you, you might not even know.
Yeah.
Very good point. We also had Patty shared, I have a lot of those moments when I'm outside walking the dogs. I sometimes trip or stop dead in my tracks in order to hear and process, and it's like an explosion in my head.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the so a couple of things are going on over here, but one of the things that when I heard explosion in my head, there are times where I'll be laying in bed and it is the strangest thing, and I'll lay on my side and I'll hear like angels singing is the best way that I can describe.
Wow.
And then I'm like, what? And I'll turn over and I'll listen and there's nothing. And I'm like, that is so weird. And then I'll turn back around to get comfortable and then I'll hear it again. And I just start doing this kind of, okay, do I hear it on this side? Do I hear it on that side?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's happened to me once. And then one of my nieces, where it was like a radio channel and I could hear voices, and it was the same thing. Like I could only hear it out of one ear. And I'm like, am I going crazy? Like, what is that? And it's like I could hear people, and it was like a, in between radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious because I know when I'm sleeping on my right side, I am more open to having sacred dreaming, sacred sleep, to where it comes through. So the fact that you're Karen, you're describing, it's like, wait a minute. And I do notice about myself when I am activated, I will call it a moment of activation when I'm doing a reading.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be a minor activation. And I'm really well connected. Sometimes I say, oh, I'm jacked in, sort of like the Matrix. Other times I sort of wander looking up to my left. No, up to my right.
Right.
That's where I sort of go. I go, oh, okay.
Well, lately, and it has changed for me too, because I can remember when I first started doing private readings, I would pick up things I would have to go through this whole entire speech of this little tiny speech to get connected in.
Oh, yes.
And what's really weird is that after the concussion, everybody that I've been talking to that's like, can I set up a meeting with you? Can I do a reading? I'm downloading information right there. It is coming strong and fast. And then I have to wait a couple of days or however long, a week or 2 weeks before I can be like, blah, 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 blah,
Yes.
you know? So it definitely changes. I think the more you, they say put your put your toe in the pool, and know that it's safe and this isn't gonna hurt you. Then you're more apt to put your whole foot and then your leg, and then finally you're swimming in it, And so
I love that.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're paying attention to you.
Yeah.
How you respond to this.
Yep. And that's what they were literally showing me, is like putting the toe. Oh, it's not that cold. This feels good. This feels relaxing. Oh my gosh. And then they slowly but surely just kept, putting somebody in the pool. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see you. They're showing me you're swimming like in the purple star thing above our heads. Like you're floating on your back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys see Rose Blue had mentioned where they don't really want to switch anything on?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
that is why the
I was trying to find that.
That is why when I read that, the Debbie comment came in with, there's a difference by telling, and you don't have to. I mean, some of us are not here it's like sitting and watching a movie. We can go ahead and watch what's around us and listen and, learn, but we don't have to turn things on. It might not be, might not be your lifetime to step into these sort of things. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful you shared this, Rose Blue. This is an important thing to have. Yes, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. Well, my bio parents were both bipolar, so I don't want anything to switch on. I think I was having an episode and need the hospital. That makes beautiful sense.
Yep. And good on you for recognizing it and going.
Yes. Yeah. What else did you want to say about that, JJ? Anything?
Yeah, but then you asked and then it went out of my head. Let me see if I can remember.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I should just write this stuff down. My meanderings
Are absolutely lovely and gorgeous. Do we need a commercial or anything like that?
No, it'll either pop back in or it won't. I don't know.
I have a
I'll
commercial
write it
that does
down.
not have a
I'm just
bad
gonna keep
word.
my pen. I'm gonna keep my pen in my hand.
Yeah. I want to, I do think this is a great thing. Rose Blue, you're getting acknowledgement from people in the chat.
Yeah.
So this is very, very important. Very important. Okay, I'm going to stare at you, JJ, until you can think of it.
Okay. Okay, I want to talk about the spiritual 2x4s. That spirit sometimes will like knock you over the head with a 2x4.
Yes.
For me, that came through as the alignment in my life was just ready to like explore a soul wound, like very dramatic, whether it was my past life or it was just something that needed to be dealt with. And for whatever reason, I had heart issues, found myself in the ER, knew that it wasn't like a normal thing. So then I reached out to the spiritual people in my life. And I reached out to the doctors, and I needed both of them. And those spiritual 2x4s, like that one changed my direction, because I knew I couldn't do my business anymore with heart issues. And so I stepped out of the business, which my husband decided to step out as well because it was our company. And, and then like 2 years later, the happening happened, where the world just stopped for a little while. And so it's just like that kind of worked out for me selling it before. Before that. But yeah, spiritual 2x4s.
The spiritual 2x4s can be very significant, and they tend to be just the right 2x4 that one needs.
Yeah.
I need a lot of 2x4s.
We could get together and build a house.
Heck yeah. Well, I just want to point out Pam's question. So I tried to start, but I guess
This
I don't
one?
have. Yeah.
How have you learned to trust your messages? Do you have a filter?
So I think for me personally, what had happened was I learned Reiki, and I was doing Reiki on a lady. And when I do Reiki, I get more, if I touch somebody, I get a lot of information. And for me, what had happened was I was doing Reiki on this elderly lady, and she had asked, do you see someone coming into my life? And I saw a younger man, and I was like, there is no, in my head, I'm thinking, there is no way I am going to say this.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was young. So I lied, and I learned right there, never, ever filter it to a point. Let me reiterate. So I basically said, oh, I see somebody, he's about your age. And she goes, oh my God, that is disgusting. So that taught me right there to say what I see or what I feel.
Yeah.
But I also do believe that, as you know, when it comes to you saying, do you have a filter? I don't think it's so much a filter, but I do find myself wording things. And they always give me this saying, which annoys me because it's, it's the Marvel kind of, I think it's Marvel, with great power comes great responsibility. They always give me that. So I know when I need to say the information, and give a person empowerment on how to move forward with what that to me is huge. To give someone the information to move forward, not just say, baba, this bad thing is going to happen. See you later. This is how we can work through it. But I don't ever filter in that way of being scared to say something. I'm just careful with how I say it and give someone the tools to build. I think that is huge. What about you guys?
Yeah, I feel like when I try to interpret something I'm seeing, the chances of me getting that wrong are almost 98%.
Yes.
Like I was sitting, this was just practicing like in a psychic class where none of us were psychics. And this one person is just sitting in front of me and I'm seeing like a dead duck, right? I'm just like, how do I say this? And I'm like, and I didn't know it was a duck. I'm just like, poultry? I'm like, was there anything like with poultry or anything? And the woman starts laughing and she's like, my nickname was Dead Duck because I loved something to death, like it was a duck and I was hugging it too much and it died. So my nickname's Dead Duck. And I'm like, oh, okay then,
Yeah.
But we're also, I feel like I know for me, I'm not always right. Sometimes spirit will be like, no, JJ, you're going in the wrong direction. But yeah, you have to be vulnerable. I've reached out to people, like I was in the gym and like this guy was like working out and I'm just like, I'm not going over there to say anything. And then I found that our paths crossed, like we put our stuff in the same place to like leave. Or like I went to my car and I couldn't find my keys, so I had to come back and he was sitting right next to my keys. So I'm like, I'm just going to do this. And he was like, kind of like, no, I don't know what you're, talking about. And it's like, maybe later he would come up with something or maybe not at all. And it's like, you're vulnerable. And you just have to get used to being vulnerable and being wrong.
I like the idea of trusting, being willing to be vulnerable. Along that way is the being willing to be right, especially if you're delivering a challenging message.
Yeah.
For me, I think about, so light language oftentimes comes, correct me if I'm wrong, you two, light language oftentimes comes with some support to help you interpret it.
Yeah.
Some guiding principle, deity, realm, whatever you want to call it. And for me, part of my experience has been, I don't shield myself or for protection. I put up a screen so that what is able to come through and permeate that
Yeah.
is acceptable and filtered with with the agreements that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And trust
That's
me,
perfect.
thank you.
Yeah.
It has been an important thing for me to realize I don't know what this is. I'm just going to say it. I've also learned to be willing to just say it instead of lessening what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
don't know why they're saying this. I don't know why. It's
Mm-hmm.
make it less of a production and just say it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing this, this, and this.
And I would agree with both of you, because what my guides are always saying is, when in my head, when I'm speaking and the words are coming out of my mouth and I'm like, well, this don't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I'm saying this, and they say it doesn't have to make sense to me. And they have literally stepped in and said that it does not have to make sense to me as long as you understand it. And I've never, I think I think we're all, I like the way you guys say vulnerable. I think, none of us walk around here going, oh, I'm all that, a bag of chips. No. For me, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, I'm not even, Jesus, take the wheel, because I'm not the one that's driving this train. I am just they literally hold a megaphone going, I'm just the mouthpiece. That's it. That is all it is. And so it is taking a step back and trusting, and Gerald, you said something and I lost it. But for those of you that don't know, and I haven't said this for a long time, is my brother is my gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother passed away when I was pretty young, and I had a bad experience at a metaphysical fair when I was reading, and it scared me enough to where I basically spoke to my brother and asked him to be the gatekeeper. And ever since then, he filters what comes in and into my bubble, I should say. And, my different guides step in on who needs to step in the moment of time, So, but that I have a gatekeeper for that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Richie brought up a point here. It's interesting that the best way to learn to trust yourself is to practice, but you don't have enough trust to practice. You want to have the confidence before you trust, but it works the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the classes help. Like mine started, I started going to like these healing circles where there, people, you would go in and you may get a reading and you may not get a reading, but of course you'll pick something up from somebody else's stuff. And then I started to like really like the people doing the reading, and it was their business. And so they did Reiki, they did like, so many really interesting things that I just loved. And yeah, none of us knew like we had any psychic mediumship, whatever. We went in for Reiki, and this next class they were teaching was, because they were Reiki practitioners, but they also used readings with their healing. So it's like you got, like, for the emotions coming up with the reading, the Reiki, if that's what it was going to do, like flows through and helps helps settle the body, or helps, just helps them energetically helping them. But it's like nobody wanted to sit in the psychic seat, and I was terrible at it. And so I'm like, I'll sit in that every single time, because you were in a group of people who they were just like, it was kind of silly, and we all knew we were going to get it wrong. And we even did it as a group too. So it's like, there's so many classes with people in this community. I know, like, God, there was one with, I took one and it was the same thing, but it was online because we have all these online friends now. And I think it was with Debbie and Kim, and it was like the same thing. Richie, I don't remember if you were in that one. But yeah, it was the same thing where you just were silly and you practiced and you went to these breakout rooms with people. They put you in the room together, and now Kevin does it too. I don't know, Gerald, do you have classes?
I don't.
I don't have any classes yet either.
No.
We should do one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Bing, bing.
Bing, bing, bing.
What I think is interesting, here we're talking about activation. What we have moved to in a beautiful, smooth way is to support in that activation, as well as developing when you have something new show up.
I
it
love that you're the host because I'm like, squirrel.
Well, yeah, well,
JJ and I are like, squirrel. Us Pisces.
Pisces.
what you don't know is I've got squirrels. They're at a rave. I've turned off the music, so now they're just staring, going, "Well, who's next?"
What
So,
do we do?
Oh, okay. You're next. Tag, you're it, Gerald. What are your swirlies saying?
well, in your opinion, is Reiki an expressive energy or receptive energy, or perhaps both? Raven Tarot Meditation has asked. I'm going to give an answer to that. It's both.
Mm-hmm.
It should be both, because my experience with Reiki is it's balanced. It knows where to go, when it needs to be there, whether or not someone is consciously taking it in. It attunes very beautifully to the person who is delivering it and to the person who is receiving it.
This is the oddest thing. I think I have a new spirit guide that literally just stepped in because the way of the words are very odd, and I've never heard. Yeah, I'm really going to explore this. This is crazy.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you're going to be real excited when I tell you about him, JJ. So I heard. So sometimes when I get a new guide, it's kind of hard to it's not like, bam, they just talk. It's you got to figure it out. But what he said, he seems Indian to me. And he literally says, when you step out, and he steps out of a teepee and he says, does the light shine? And so he just keeps giving me this, like, everything. You feel the light, you see the light, the light gives back. So yeah, that's
I have so many goosebumps everywhere.
Me too. Just so and yeah, so he is comparing Reiki to the sun, and that is his analogy, going, when you have this, the sun isn't just, the sun creates so much, and that's all he keeps saying is this, it's when you step into the sun.
Boom. I love him.
I love him too.
I want to sit around a fire with that guy.
I'm glad you recognized him.
Mm-hmm. Woo, woo.
He's like, and the 2x4 finally.
Hypnicity said sometimes it's 60-40. I've always considered it as I'm getting Reiki as I'm giving it, as it has to pass through me to the person receiving.
Yeah, and Fogo Pogo, Kaylee, that reminds me, because I got so caught up in like the symbols and am I doing this right? And this person, everybody in the room got warm hands and my hands were cold, and I'm like, am I doing this wrong? And it's like, one time I was sitting on the couch with my kids and my kid's friend, and it's like we were all just sitting there watching cartoons, and then all of a sudden my whole body like did a Reiki activation type thing without me even calling it in, because my heart was open. I was just so happy to sit there with these two kids, and just have like this together moment. So it's like, I mean, I'm such a space cadet. Like I even have the symbols. You can get symbols for cheat cards. Because usually I'm like woo woo and I'm like, okay, this is the symbol I can do instead of remembering it. And also, um, with the Reiki that I learned, the person who originally like channeled it, there weren't any symbols. Um, he decided to create, probably channeled the symbols, but he didn't have it. So it's like you could always just, open it up, you know, just open it up and just see if like you can feel healing energy. Like I would be in the shower, somebody across the United States was a friend that was sick, and I'd be in the shower and I could feel like my vibrations because of like the water's my thing, and just sending like love and healing and whatever I could. It's like you could do it today. You don't have to take a class. Just do it today.
What my guides have always said is because we don't know how spiritual, like it's almost like because you don't know the core of you and how really strong we each are, and what we've been through on so many, they're going like this past, so you don't need to feel the warm hands. You don't need to, it's all these boxes that we perceive that we're supposed to do it this way, and because it doesn't do this way, we're doing wrong. We're such powerful beings all on our own, and so it's okay to trust that it's not going to look like this. I need to plug in my computer.
The other thing with that, and JJ, thank you for saying your hands were cold. Anytime I do energy work, my hands turn very cold. That's the way I experience the energy.
Yeah, and my teachers had never experienced that. So
Really?
I had that feeling of like I did it wrong, and then I took Reiki. What did I take? I took Reiki when I was in Sedona with the retreat with Kevin, Jeffrey, and our buddy there, Debbie. Yep, our best friend. What's her name? Yeah, and learning. I've taken like 2 different Reiki master classes. It's like I just like learning from different teachers, and I like the people who show up for the class. And I just like to keep learning, but it's like what I really like kind of healed me from that experience of the cold hands and not knowing was Kevin said it comes, and Debbie too, it's like it comes through the way it's going to come through, and that's your way. And don't second guess yourself.
I taught a class where a woman, literally, she was, all that was coming through for her were animals. And it was like she would see the light. She could envision the light, but along with the light came a certain animal. So I was like, okay, you really need to look into, I think it was called Spirit Talks or something like that, or Animals Talk or something. And
Animal.
Yeah. And Ted Andrews. Yep. And that talks about each. It's funny that you have that right there. And I'm
working on it.
Yeah, I told you that it's very important to okay, come on, slow down. Slow down over here. It's very important to see what those are, because maybe that's the different language. And then again,
that's an interesting idea.
What is going on here when I said slow down is because some of you guys are actually getting visited by animals that you're like, oh, wow, cool. Look at that deer. That is a sign within itself. And they're bringing me back full circle, because earlier I don't remember when we were talking, some of us ignore the signs because we're looking for it to happen in a different way. And this is a prime example. Someone was talking to me not too long ago, telling me about a dream about how this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And I said, did you look up those animals? Because it was all animals. So we are getting those signs. It's just you might be looking at it based on what you're hearing and not realizing all the other stuff. Yeah.
I think you called it, Gerald. I have like so many other things to say. I think this is more than one.
Yeah.
Welcome to Light Language Activation Episode 1. We will be scheduling Episode 2 after this, and probably 3, 4, and 5.
I got goosebumps. It's
Yes.
like we've graduated to activation. And
I think what's really beautiful is, because we're at an hour and I want to wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
As many people who are watching this right now, who are listening to the playback, listening to the podcast, guess what? You can have access to light language if you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
You can dodge the 2x4 if you so choose. Good luck with that. I don't know if your guides are like mine. You'll get tapped. The other thing is, your activation is perfect for exactly where you are and the beautiful skill set and the energy that you encompass. And
Yep.
guess what? That is exactly what the world's needs right now.
Yep.
If we can be honestly who we are without going, well, I should be this, I should be this. That's not what this is about. If you can be your most authentic self and dance with the light language, allow it to wash over you, it empowers you and it benefits everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Light language is not one person's. Reiki is not one person's. It's not. And I am just I'm thrilled to be able to have this conversation, because I got a couple of ahas too. I think if we realize this is what's coming through for me right now, where I am, and just go, this is what's coming through for me right now and where I am, instead of putting a value judgment on it. When we value judge, we dismiss, we create a block that does not truly exist. But where intention goes, energy flows.
Yep.
And so it is.
Well,
Mic drop.
boom. I need a nice mic. But it's really powerful, and I'm so grateful for the idea of activation. There's so much activation going on. Someone we may know is getting activated.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what they're going through unless they reach out and share something.
Yes. That's why you need weird friends like us.
I'm not weird.
No, you're my normal friend.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. Karen is getting something. Would you like to share anything, Karen?
Sure. I just need to speak a little bit. The spirit fingers turned on. Eme watua watua watu ekne ishne u umbratua ete ishne u ata aret usnak net abra ukna asne ishne uta sne uta ekne it. That's it.
Oh my God, I exhaled at the same time as you. That felt so good. I'm like, oh my God.
This has been wonderful. And let me be honest, this has been fucking incredible, okay?
It's so
I'm allowed
fun.
to say that.
Yes.
So I do want to thank everybody for joining us for Light Language 23 Activation Part 1. As you step back into your day, notice what feels newly alive, an insight, a vibration, a spark of possibility. If today stirred something in you, share your experience below.
Yes.
Keep the conversation glowing. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, stay hydrated, and keep following the light that's already within you. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye.